Welcome to NuttieBuddie Entertainment.
So, do you want to just talk about a little bit about the drama surrounding She-Hulk?
Sure. I didn't know there was drama until you're like, hey, have you looked at the drama? I'm like, no.
Well, I was doing my group, like I'm in one Facebook group that talks about Marvel stuff, and they sort of brought it up about this review bombing that's happening. And of course, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like the media is paid to sort of like make things more like bigger than what it is sometimes to draw
Bring attention to it, I guess.
Yeah.
In some ways, I mean, I did I did look at it, and I mean, there's over 10,000 reviews on it right now. And I mean, Miss Marvel also, like, it has more reviews than Miss Marvel has. And it's only been up for, a week compared to hers being like two months. It's got more, like, So I do feel like it's getting bombarded, and I don't know why exactly. And then, like, on IMDb, you can actually look at like the ratio of like ages compared to like male and female sort of stuff, and most of it is ages 30 to 44 males.
Being my range.
Yeah,
Our range.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh boy, yeah. But it's like the rating is like a 4.8 compared
Yes.
to like any women who have rated this. It's like a 7.1. But I mean, it's literally like 10 times males rating this compared to females. And I don't know. I was looking at all these reviews, and then also just like kind of cross-referencing them, because I just started picking like random ones that gave it like a 1 star and seeing like, are they just logging on to review this just to do it out of spite? And it seemed like no, they're reviewing other stuff, but then I'm looking at the other stuff that they're reviewing, and like they're giving everything else 1 stars as well. Like, even like there was one that gave something like the Batman a 1 star review and saying it was garbage. I'm like, okay. But I don't know. It's also hard for me because I've never actually logged on to something and ever like review. It would take a lot for me to have to review a series. Like, I would have to love it to the point of like, I've got to tell everyone about this, or hate it to the point of like, I had the worst experience ever watching this film,
Yes, so I 100% agree with that point. So usually, like, who are the ones that like review restaurants most of the time? It's the ones with the great experiences or the worst experience. It's never
Or
like
or the ones that don't belong there. The ones that are like, I couldn't read the menu because it was too dark in here. It's like, well, then go to the restaurant during the day, or like don't go to a nightclub. I don't know what to tell you here.
Yes, correct. Now, when I was reading the article last week, there's actually more reviews now than there was back then.
Okay.
And it was funny because the 10-star reviews was much more than the 1-star reviews. Not like much more, but like 1,000 more at the time. And even before the series came out, there was a ton of 10 stars and a ton of 1 stars, and they were only like 100 total reviews off. And I'm just like, what's happening here is they're getting review bomb both directions, and you're probably getting the right rating at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, ignore the 1s and the 10s, because the 10s are going to, if you click and look at their review history, they're probably 10ing every single Marvel show. And then the same with the 1s, they're probably 1ing every single show. So focus on the like 9 to 2, 3 to 8 range, and that's probably where you'll find more of a happy medium and a true objective rating.
Yes. Yeah.
But let me ask you this, Brian. Have you ever allowed a rating on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes to dictate whether you watch a movie or not?
No.
Yeah, that's the biggest part.
People swear by the movie Maverick, Top Gun.
Yeah.
I've seen the first one. I don't like it. I'm not going to watch the second one, even though people tell me it's absolutely great. I don't feel the need to ever watch it. Yeah. So it doesn't sway me at all. Sometimes maybe I'll look at a movie that I really enjoy and then see what other people think of it. But for the most time, I'm not looking at the reviews. Like I'll judge something on my own just because I try to keep things balanced and not just because a lot of these reviews are more a lot of them weren't even about the show. It was more
Correct.
just like Marvel. People hate what Marvel are doing. People hate what Disney are doing.
Correct.
They're ruining all these, shows from my childhood. They're not the same. There's too many women in it. It's like, okay, you're not talking about the show. You're talking about a company. So.
Correct. And I don't know if I want to go to the 10-star review.
But it was also interesting, like if you get a number from the age range of like 18 and under, most of them are around like like a 6.8 is like or 6.5 is like the average.
Yeah.
Which is probably more of the crowd that they're trying to get, which I would say right now the show is about a 6.5, for what it is for writing and like, what they're doing with the Hulk and stuff. So, maybe that demographic, but I mean, that's like 95 reviews total of people that age, reviewing it.
Yeah, I think that's another good, like, and can we wait till the series is over before we review it? What if it starts out bad and then you give it a chance and you're like, oh yeah, it's or vice versa.
Yeah,
It starts
it
out
corrects
good.
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but yeah, I also just went on to Instagram and like started going on to Marvel's page to look at like the posts they had for the She-Hulk. And most of it is positive stuff. Every once in a while it'll be like, yeah, I didn't like the show, but most of it's like, oh, we love this episode. We really liked it. Like most of it is positive. So I don't know. It's all over the place, but it's also people just want to be heard. And the most way to get that is to just, usually say something negative about it because that kind of bumps it up to the top. It's usually why, when we review something, a lot of people like listening to the bad or the ugly on something because they just want to see what you hate about it. So
right. No, that's a great point. But it's also what's it called? Like it's amplified by the media because the media only focuses on the negative stuff that's coming out of the fandom instead of the positive things. And then the other thing I just don't care about these articles, it's like it paints this sort of broad brush on every single reviewer or every single fan, because not everybody that rated a 1 star is probably review bombing it. Maybe they have legitimate criticism. Now I don't agree that it's a 1, but they can feel that way. That's fine. But and then like it's like, oh, the fans are hating on She-Hulk, or or a certain demographic is hating on She-Hulk. It's like, no, you're just picking out the loudest 5% of the fan base, and you're making them look like us, making the rest of the fan base look bad. And I don't like that they do that either, to be honest.
Yeah. Like there's an article on Screen Rant that's talking about the She-Hulk review bombing, and they have like specific points on like this is why people don't like the show. The first one is that the CGI is bad, which I can agree with, but it's a TV series and they're not going to have enough time to do it,
right?
Which we both even talked about. And then the other one is that the origin sucks. With you even think like this wasn't a good origin for it,
right?
And then also it showed that it makes the Hulk too weak, which we also didn't like, And then also the other thing that they have is it's not funny. People aren't relating to the humor that's in the show right now. And then so, with all of those things, I still wouldn't give it a 1 star.
I agree.
Like I would maybe right now give it like if it was just off of those things, like a 6, because it's not melding the story like a good storyline together. But giving it a 1 star is just kind of ridiculous, especially with it only having 1 or 2 episodes out.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I agree for the most part. I would say it just depends, because like let's say some people get like emotionally attached to these characters because they spend a lot of time and energy and resources on these comic books and they love this character. And this is like with the whole Taskmaster thing, right? like a lot of people love the Taskmaster of the comic book. So if you switch it up, you're going to upset that group of people that really liked the Taskmaster of the comic books. And to me, it's like, they can be upset about it. You just have to live with it. You can't say it's not their right or whatever. It's because they love that character. That's the story they grew up loving. You know what I'm saying? That's, and it's the same with She-Hulk. If it's the origin that really bothers people, okay, that's fine. But then, like, do you have to, I guess my thing would be like, if you don't like it, do you have to really rate it a 1? Like, or could you just ignore it? That's the other thing. Like, fine if you don't like it, but could you just ignore it? Or is this thing like we're trying to make our voices heard so Disney stops messing with our characters? I don't get it. Like, I guess I don't know, but
yeah,
drama,
but that's it for all of the shows now, which I mean, in a way is good for them, because the other thing too is like, a lot of reviews were like, I only made it halfway through the episode. I couldn't even watch the whole thing. My guy, we know you watched the whole episode.
Yeah.
Come on. It's only 22 minutes. You didn't just shut it off halfway through, flip your hands up and just be like, I'm done. No.
All right.
People are still coming back every week to watch it. So
correct. Yeah. It had the second lowest opening, I guess. It was ahead of Miss Marvel. Had more viewers than Miss Marvel, but it was like as viewed as many like Hawkeye and She-Hulk was tied for like the second worst, I guess. Read an article about that.
Are they comparing that to all of the shows on Disney Plus? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think Moon Knight or Loki. I can't remember. One of those two are the highest.
Okay.
But yeah, it is what it is. I think like you're always going to have that drama, but I just like, for me, it's just like, I don't know why we have to sit here, because it's sort of this stupid thing to me. Like, you get just as much 10-star reviews, and this is no way a 10-star show either. And that annoys me as well, but it's only the 1-star that's get pointed out. And I'm just like, guys, why do we got to talk about this?
Well,
it's obviously trolls.
Yeah. Well, then you have the people who are like, well, you can't just give it all 1 stars and just automatically go give it a 10-star, which the show isn't 10-star worthy. They're just trying to counterbalance it. And then you're just getting this mix of like, okay, we don't know where this show is like evening out at all. Like, it's just kind of up in the air. So
yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Anything else, Brian?
No, man, I'm heating up enough. I'm good.
Okay. Me too. I enjoyed talking to you about it. Thanks so much for listening to me and Brian talk a little bit about the drama surrounding She-Hulk and the review bombing. There'll probably be more to talk about in the coming weeks regarding this show, and we will be here to discuss it. So please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and if you'd like to listen to the rest of the podcast where me and Brian talk more about the episodes of She-Hulk, both 1 and 2, click on one of the links down below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll talk to you guys soon.